Yeah, I think I did go
We are
to.
live. Entrepreneur. Hello, everybody. Hello, Dr. Gustis, Dr. Brill.
Hello,
How's it going?
Barry, Doctor, pleasure.
All right. We're just going to wait a few minutes for people to get in here. It's a lovely, lovely night. So,
All right, they are streaming in fast and furious. So while we're doing it, why doesn't everybody post like where they're from? Where are you guys from? We'll see who the farthest is. Just like at the weddings, right?
Oh, I do see. Oh, here they are.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
we're going to give it a few minutes here, but this discussion about year supply contact lenses and just presenting contact lens fees
Yeah. How's it going?
really been accomplished in a great manner. We've been resulting to the same tools for decades. So we're super stoked to tell you about it. All right, we got Lee Ford from Columbus. Anith, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, Jeremy.
Jeremy, what's going on?
One of your fans, huh?
Hey, hey. Oh, I've got, groupies, obviously. Yeah. Jeremy, how you doing, man?
All right.
Martin's in the house.
This is, I'm going to really like this, this format of this webinar. I'm excited.
So we're going to open up to a lot of questions throughout. The demo's pretty quick. We're just going to jump right into it, not chat too much. And
Sure.
then we're going to talk about business most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
We're going to do this. Unlike most lectures at optometry meetings, they save the best for last. I've got this 2-hour lecture, but I'm going to give them the best thing I have in the last 10 minutes. And then someone raises a sign and says 5 minutes. And I said, oh, what I wanted to tell you, I don't have time to tell you. So we're going to do it like a boardroom presentation. I'm going to give you all the information and the demonstration right up front. And so we've got about 30 people so far, 31. Should we wait a couple more minutes, Perry?
Yeah, we're going to wait a few more minutes. We already have a question, Lee Ford. How can this help me with rebates? This is something we have no idea how to do.
Well, we'll get into that. We don't want to steal the thunder right now.
Yeah, we got the solution.
We will
I don't. He does down here. So,
up here.
Wherever you are.
You're here.
You're down.
You're here.
Okay.
We'll take
all right. So very
sip of
good.
Water.
Where else is everybody from? Those who are attending, just put your city. Maybe we'll come visit you and bring you mask.
So nobody from, usually we have somebody from India.
I brought a mask just in case.
Oh, that's a good.
Just it's going to be a lot of people in this room.
I found an N95 in my garage. It had tons of dust in it. It was probably a painter that used it before, I lived there. But hey,
it'll work.
Pittsburgh, Kansas, or Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania?
Island.
And Nif wants to know how many frames I have. I have like 20 frames, but I wear the same dang one because this is the most.
Why don't you wear some other ones, Barry?
I don't know.
Put a Cartier on.
Oh, we got Maui. Let's go to Maui. Do I have to quarantine if I go to Maui? That's the real question.
14 days.
Yeah.
14 days. Well, I'm staying at your house then, Karsten. You got a pool?
The whole place is a pool. It's surrounded by pool.
All right.
Beauty of life.
I think we should get going.
Let's do it. All right.
To Entrepreneur Webinar, the podcast, or I guess the webinar for Wizards of Eyes. And we found ourselves a wizard here in Dr. Ryan Gustis. And Ryan's going to change the industry. I know, Perry, you're going to show my form later on sometime?
I can show your form if you want. Yeah, well, I'll just
later on. It's been a big secret up until today. So he's going to embarrass me later on. And so Ryan is kind of a leader in the industry. But if you don't know him, he's super smart. And I asked him if he had an MBA, and he said no, but he just reads all these books and learns things. So which is kind of novel. So.
Oh, the kids are doing it.
Maybe we can have Ryan just introduce himself. Like, Ryan, where are you from? Where'd you go to school? What got you to this point in your life?
Sure, thanks. Fort Wayne, Indiana, so the northeastern corner. I was a 2011 IU grad, and then did my residency at a VA in 2012. And then right away stopped my residency on like June 30th, and then signed the paperwork. And then I was a 50-50 owner of a practice by July 1st.
Wow.
And just transitioned right into practice ownership. And right away started building and doing things around the practice. I have a great business partner, Dr. Richard Shamlow. And one of the things we went to tackle was contact lenses. And we found a really great way that handled selling more in the office. And then when friends wanted it, and then friends of friends wanted it, and it was successful in multiple places, that's when we turned it into a scalable company, which I'm currently on a webinar to talk about.
Cool.
There you go.
Well, it's, why don't you fire up your computer and let's see the demo.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, we're going right to the meat of it. We're tired of people asking us, how much does it cost? What is it? So.
Oh, I should probably get my email off so you're not staring at my email. There we go.
If you want to know the cost, I'll just tell you. It's about $99 a month, so you're not scared.
First, so that,
Couple of boxes of contacts that you wouldn't have sold otherwise. All right, got my screen?
Yes, we see it.
yeah.
All right, perfect.
So empty, so easy.
So yes. So part of it is helped develop by our own staff. So staff approved and staff input, and very simple and quick to use. And so actually the very first screen that you're staring at right now is simply the first screen that you face once you log in. And what you then enter is essentially your patient name. And if they have a contact lens allowance, great. And if not, you put 0. And then at that point, you're ready to move on to the right eye. And so I should back up. You can do this on desktop, tablet, laptop. By the time we get to the end, you can even print things off. But essentially, so once you've gone to the right eye, this is our lens selection screen. These are all of the lenses that you choose as favorites for your office. There are 20-something pages of lenses, but most offices have between 2 and 4. At this point, you just choose whichever lens. Do you have a favorite? I can choose that one. I have most of the major ones on this one.
Let's do Dailies Total 1.
Dailies Total 1. So you can either.
Dailies Total 1 multifocal. Let's make it for that.
No. We'll see if I put a price on it, though. If it's not here, I'd probably kept it off the demo.
Okay.
Nope. How about precision one day then? So actually, I wanted to demonstrate something too. So you can either find it like this, or if you even type in a partial name, it'll pull up the lenses like that too. So you can find it a few different ways, right?
Hey, Dr. Gustus, you want to do a little role play here? Maybe you can pretend I'm the 28-year-old patient, and you're the doctor selling me in the room, and we can kind of do that so people get a realistic way of looking at it.
It'll be, all right, I'll get there in 10 seconds. So let's do this. All right, so I'll do BioTrue. Oh, here we go. Here, we'll do the precision one day, like I mentioned. So choose the right eye, go ahead and move on, choose the left.
Okay.
And now, Perry,
Great.
This is your contact lens pricing. So you're here to get contacts today. This is your 6-month supply. This is your year supply. After insurance and rebates, you'd save $210 today. Or if you only got a 6-month supply, you'd be spending another $300 in 6 months. What would you like to buy?
Well, I generally buy my contacts online. Like my mom always did that, and so I do what my mom does. I'm trying to understand the pricing. So you're saying it's only $90 more to get a year supply?
That's right.
Wow, that's crazy. I always thought online was cheaper.
Yeah, and should we break from that? No, it's not always cheaper. And we don't get defensive about it. And even in your example, it would be like, well, you could get it done today, or if you want to text that to mom, or take it home and then they'll call in an order, because this is the way that people want to see a purchase decision, right? And so, in fact, one of our early users would frequently they're out in California, they would take it home, call right back and order.
Gotcha. So what I'm understanding is when we use LensQuote, what I do for my Brill center pricing, I send you my price list, and we are LensQuote customers, by the way. I literally just sent screenshots to you of our pricing. It wasn't even an Excel sheet, and you guys did all the manual entry. So walk us through the columns here.
Yes.
Yeah.
You didn't expect the demo to be that fast to actually get to the meat of that.
Yeah,
and then we'll get to the comparison lenses. So to talk just a little bit about this. So the way we've set this up is basically the way that consumers, if you even think of yourself, when you go to make a buying decision, you want to see all the facts, all the details, and you want to know if you're spending more, you're getting more of something in return, right? So to talk about how like most offices we first are in and how they currently sell, it could be staff asking how many boxes, or it could be even the well-intentioned, do you want an annual supply today? Or, your annual supply will be, $400 today, we'll take cash or credit. And so the problem is you're missing all the details. You're also missing options. It's never comfortable for the brain to actually not have options. And so in our case, for the choice architecture part of this, we're simply choosing the options. You notice that it went right to a default 6-month versus an annual supply. And that's for a reason, because we actually use the 6-month supply to sell the annual supply to a degree. It's immediately comfortable, and it's pretty obvious because it lets us save or say then how much they save by getting it there that day, which is also the last point, that value, right? So you're trying to drive a point home. If I'm spending more, what do I get in return? Well, in this case, if you're just getting it all up front at once, you're going to save a substantial amount of money, which even in today with everything going on, it's really hard to turn down $200 and something in this case to then turn around and go elsewhere.
Right. Hey, Dr. Brill, do you want to talk about why contact lens sales we do well in our practice, but it's a constant struggle. We have millennial staff. They're not job loyal, and we don't blame them. What we like to say is they graduate onto other jobs, and we're proud of that. We train them really well, and then they go to the next practice to make no more money. So
what's your point?
Talk to the audience. What we've always used a paper form, and staff make calculation errors. They can't remember the pricing. They have to look it up. So it's a lot of wasted time. And I think patients sense the frustration. We're letting off this energy in the room.
Some of the VSP, I shouldn't say it. Some of the vision care plans, there's one that starts with an E and ends with a D. Some are very cryptic. It's like, subtract something and divide it by this and add that and then put it together. And it depends if it had, I'm a math guy. If it had parentheses, you'd know what to do first, but then don't put parentheses around it. So it's hard to calculate, and we want to be accurate. We don't want to be, make a mistake on it. But, when some of them say you have a $100 benefit with a $50 copay, honestly, it's a $50 benefit. So they mess around a lot to make them look good, and then we have to be the ones that actually tell them the truth. Mm. So here it is presented easier. Mine was a form, and it was written out pretty clearly, but sometimes it got messy because you scratch things out. And I always say, I want a nice clean form. But so here it definitely makes the difference for them to tell. And then just sneakily, like 3 lines up, it's actually what they really have to do. They have to pay today, right? 180 for 6 months and 420. But
I did a little market research on Facebook, a really reliable source before this webinar, and I asked people, how do you present contact lens fees in your practice to patients? And a lot of people said verbally. They just blurt out to the patient, your year supply is $600. And I don't personally like that. I'm visual. Most people are visual. We want to see it. And
because you may be like, Perry, just make that up. You need another $100 today or what?
Yeah.
Right.
So they want really, when it's written down like on a computer or something, it's like, okay, I'm not paying any more than I should. So
It's a little bit of what we build into this, right? So we white label it for offices. It always looks extremely clean.
So it'll have my,
there we go, cream and crisp.
it'll have my logo, right?
Yes, yeah, your logo's on there.
Okay.
This happens to be our demo account,
Yeah.
so it's always white labeled for somebody. But essentially, what it is visual always trumps verbal for a reason, because when people are being told something, and this is a lot of accounts that we kind of coach when they first come on, they're dejected because they're selling the average 35% annual supplies, which, by the way, that's the industry average. In general, we lose about 40% of all sales, of all the contacts we sell. We lose about 40% overall to online or mass merchandisers. But when it comes to the, I had the pop up and then suddenly I lost it. So when it comes to annual supply sales, they talk and they try to talk and more. And what really happens is anytime, think of someone selling something to you and you do a lot of talking, or you're being talked to a lot, it feels like that person's trying to convince you of something, right? So immediately it puts you up on your, back heels a little bit, thinking, what are they trying to convince me of? What am I being tricked into? And so that's a mistake a lot of offices will make, is that it's overly talkative. And that was a little bit of how we even started ourselves until we developed this. The other thing is verbal versus visual. Anytime you have a visual presentation, it's actually processed differently than verbal. So verbal is always skeptical. Even if you're listening to me right now, right? It's a little skeptical, right? There's a part of your brain that's looking to see if I'm telling the truth, if this is all making sense. However, when it's visual, it totally bypasses that part of the brain that's paying any attention to that. It's trusted, it's logical, it's laid out in the way that someone needs to understand if they're going to make a buying decision. And so pretty much that's right where we cut to. It was a long answer.
And I will add, now that
we're doing a poll right now, by the way, so only 17 of 40 people have voted. So I think this will be good data just for everybody to see. So please do the poll.
Okay, I was going to say, now that we're all wearing masks, we're losing some of our major form of communication with our expressions.
Yes.
And just if they see the edges of your lips turning up, it means that you're happy. But if you're not really happy, or they have no idea behind our mask, we could be cussing them out and they have totally no idea. So, and maybe you can have smiling eyes, but they have to now listen, and listening is harder. So if they're viewing a pad, an iPad of some sort, tablet, desktop, it's really going to be, that's what they're going to pay attention to. So,
and you can, so if I even show you how it's here, a PDF every single time, doesn't matter what device you use. Who can see the screen of that poll result?
Okay, Perry's got his.
We're going to finish the poll and I'll get rid of this. So everyone apparently thinks Bruno Mars is the best pop star. So that's good. What's your yearly supply percentage sold? The majority of people are around 20%. They're thinking,
oh, we're going to kill it. Okay.
Okay. You got
most practices lie. I like that answer.
Dude, it's true.
Interesting. Who sells the contacts? Opticians sell the contacts. Okay, that's interesting.
Whoever has the time. I like that.
And what's your fitting fee? So most people for a new sphere fitting fee are 90 plus.
Mm-hmm. So looks good. So some thoughts. I have a quick thought on the optician selling. And that's one, something that we get feedback on that's nice about freeing up the office. Just to talk a little bit about how we work, right? Part of our thesis was that the way of doing things, which was not that you shouldn't train your staff, but you absolutely should enrich your staff, but to expect everyone to be an expert at sales, something that inherently most of us are not very comfortable or built naturally to do. And now we're having them sell. So naturally you go to the optician because you figure at least they're the most skilled salespeople in the office, and they probably are. But wouldn't it be nice to have them selling the glasses and someone else selling the contacts? If you could turn anyone in the office into an expert seller by using a scalable program that all they do is show and then ask that same question, how many boxes or whatever, and then automatically they'll sell 20, 30, 40% more contacts. That's a win from an office efficiency standpoint.
Yeah. Hey, Dr. Gustus, can you pretend you're selling? I'm curious to hear what your spiel would be.
Yeah, I mean, really, if I think of like what our staff do, and I'll even share what we personally do in the office. So we have assistants that follow us around, and up front, and actually that led to the comparison tool in this example. So I'll put it together. So up front, the way we got up to about 65% dailies was our staff would know what the patient's wearing, and they'd print off a quote of what they're wearing, a quote of like our favorite daily that we've been fitting people in general. We may not end up there, but at least we'd start there. And they'd say, hey, if you, this is what you currently wear, or if you were interested in a new fresh lens every day, this is what a daily lens would cost. And we went from, like I said, like 25% up to like 65%, really pretty much immediately every time we were fitting, because when people could see that up front, they can rationalize. And before, it seemed like this big ordeal to figure out solutions and $150 difference, or is it or isn't it? Where was I before? Now it's just all right here and easy to make the decision. So it was kind of shocking, because we figured, price resistance was more the issue, and we figured out it was more communication was the issue.
So here you
to wrap it up.
Here you have 1-day products. Can you show like like a monthly product versus?
Yeah, let me do that real quick.
You could do like an Ultra versus a BioTrue, so you can stay in the family.
So I'll do Ultra for the right. And then when it comes to actually lens selection, you'll notice when it goes to the left eye, we boil it down to just the most likely lenses, so they don't have to go through the whole list again. And so let's say Ultra for Stig for the left. And then here's your monthly lens quote for Ultra. And then, so what we ended up doing, instead of doing 2 quotes, we built this new tool. And if you compare that to a BioTrue, this is what it looks like. And so even though the daily is more expensive, if you can paint the value of getting that particular daily, they're going to be interested in buying. And so in this case, you can just show them a side-by-side comparison of whatever monthly they're in with whatever daily or a different manufacturer. And you'll definitely convert more lenses into your preferred lens. Or the downside of this, if you could call it downside, is that you'll actually sell more annual supplies of the lens that they're currently wearing too. So even if they deny going to a daily, now their choice is 6 months of current lens, year of a current lens, or year supply of the daily. They're going to gravitate towards the middle and choose the year supply of whatever their current lens is.
Yeah. Hey,
now, did they ever ask you, well, do I get that rebate like now?
Yeah, occasionally, but some that's so baked into how contact lenses have been done for so long that I think those are just people that are maybe newer to it.
Okay.
It always still gets handed over.
So now when you have, I mean, there's not just a nominal difference between 1 day and monthly, but now they get to the front desk and they think, oh, well, it's only 114 today versus 483. Now that is a larger disparity there. And
there was no MSR. As I'm looking at my options here, I definitely didn't apply any like MSRP. I think these were just prices that I'd thrown in here at various points. Okay. So you can close that gap with whatever your strategy is for pricing, certainly.
Now you gave an instant savings. So what's that instant savings about?
Yeah, I can talk about that. So the way we built the platform, many offices do nothing. I'm happy to consult on what I think best practices are, but you can basically do no discount. You can do any percentage off of a year supply or a partial supply. There's actually logic within the pricing. Actually, I can kind of just show that real quick.
Yeah.
So we have the whole set of lenses right under this tab. So 23 pages, right? The ones that show up on your favorites list are the ones that you star, and then they show up there first, but you can always access them by clicking the all lens. And then it looks like there's a lot of pricing to enter. Honestly, we'll help you with all this, but it actually isn't. It's only, well, I picked a bad example because I had a fixed price in there. I'll show you. But we just enter in the one price. We have a separate area that if you do like a percentage discount off, you can do that, apply it, and then it applies that across the board, either retail, partial, and yearly, depending on how you want to do it. Or
you do either percentage or dollar amount?
Or dollar amount. So if you say instead for this, you wanted to do just $3 off a box for some reason for the annual supply, you type in what that amount would be. So it'd be technically $65 because it's $3 off. And then that all auto calculates into what that instant savings area is. So it knows automatically. So even though this looks like a lot, this actually lets us take care of like any discount structure that anyone could have, but do it completely seamlessly. And that row doesn't show up if someone doesn't have a rebate. So it's not like instant savings, $0. It just goes away.
It goes away. I see.
Dr. Gustis?
Put it in on the fly though. Can they say, you know what? You're going to do, I'm going to throw in like an extra $10 off a box.
You could, we're actually, that's kind of one of the newer updates that's about to come. It was a feature that there's some kind of insurance things that we're doing, but that will actually be available soon. It's not right now. I'm not sure I'd recommend just throwing it in off the fly, but you could.
Hey, Dr. Gustis, do you want to stop your screen share? Maybe we can answer a few questions.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just read them off to you so everybody can know. Lee Ford, how can this help me with rebates? This is something we have no idea how to do. And I think what you're referring to, Lee, is like, we don't know where the rebates are, okay? It's like, okay, did we get the rebates? Are they expired? You know, now we get these little tiny pads with like 4 papers on them. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, it is frustrating to have to deal with the pads. And we're actually working on trying to get rid of that. Essentially, I won't get into why they exist, but essentially it's the company hiring a third party that does the rebate programs, which is why they have a number of pads as opposed to just saying, here you go. But basically, yes, it's all automatically updated. So as soon as the rebates flip, all the values flip in the system. And if your rep isn't like completely on top of it, at least you know our number is 100% correct. And that is something we get a lot of positive comments on because they're not sure, which one is expired or not. And so next month we'll be having that cycle through for a lot of them. Cool.
Anith wants to know, does it do a comparison to online competitors?
No, it does not. And I can give a short reason why. Do you compare your glasses to online too? That's not part of it. But the reason is when you invite a competitor into your space, so people want to buy from you. People came to you, see Dr. Brill, and that actually has value to it. So when you go through the whole process, or the patient goes through the whole process and all that value added to the office, and you get to the end and you say, all right, well, let me compare us to this other competitor. You're basically saying, forget all that value we just added. This is only going to be about price. And you should definitely not feel uncomfortable not buying from us because I'll even shop with you. We'll do it right here. And then that actually creates worse behaviors overall because you've basically approved them that they can shop elsewhere. And maybe the next one is the next one is the cheaper option. So I can tell you from, hundreds of offices we talk to, I've never found an office that does a lot of cost comparison and sells any more than the average of 30-ish% contacts.
Okay, great. Jeff Martin, how does this program print out the rebate forms?
It doesn't print out the rebates partly because that whole manufacturer third-party control thing. So we're working on that and seeing if we can be allowed to do that.
Okay. Stephen Gross, can you add lenses on the fly if there is a lens that is not on the list?
There is all the lenses on the list. And if you ever find one that's not, I'll send you a Starbucks gift card or wherever local.
You even have Iris, right?
Yeah, we got Iris.
And what's the view one? Natural view?
Natural view. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
We got them all.
Hubble.
If they're not ever on there, it's happened a couple of times where we had like something we didn't realize, but catalog's really big, and you just let us know. It's added pretty much immediately, and with all the right marketing information, box size, all that. If you don't have it priced and you want to go select it, it'll say you're missing a price. You hit add price, and then you can just add it on the fly.
What about
Hubble, Aveo, and you got those?
I could add it, I guess.
we have all the fitting sets actually.
So
It's a good strategy because you get on their Doctor Locator, right?
It's very smart.
So you can put just price your own Hubble, right? Oh man, Hubble's high.
Yeah, you don't want that. They're not going to look online.
Dr. Gustus, do you help us with our contact lens pricing? It fluctuates all the time. So will you keep us up to date, like what we should be charging?
I haven't really done that on a formal basis yet, to be honest. That's a cool request, though. It falls into a gray zone of I'm not sure how to like best communicate that. I like to do it. Maybe it's off the record and it's more conversational. I can tell you that research says that you can price it up to like 20% over your competition. That's kind of the threshold that people pay for friendly, in-person service that's convenient and that they have a relationship with you. So really when I see, and by the way, it's like 90% of my accounts, they're usually priced under 1-800-CONTACTS.
Oh.
And one of the first bits of advice I mentioned is like, you might want to raise your prices. Their concern is we'll sell less contacts. And I'll say, well, if we're already at 35% annual supplies, we can do better than that. Or it's not going to affect you that much.
Hey, Dr. Brill, do you want to ask a few questions?
Sure. Let's see. Were you going off the Q&As?
I'm at the Q&A, yep.
Okay.
So a good one.
Anith has, how does it work with formulary contacts with vision plans like Spectera? I'm not sure I know what a formulary contact is.
I do.
Okay.
And that's on our next update. In general, of our 200 and some locations, they haven't been using Spectera, but to expand into that and make it easier, that's what we're starting to work on, those formulary plans. In general, it's just not so profitable. You really should avoid it if at all possible. But yes, that's our current answer on that.
Okay, and then it also asks, so if the patient walks, do they get a follow-up? I don't know where that went to.
Sorry, I deleted it.
I guess.
If the patient walks, do they get a follow-up email, telling them to purchase or something?
Yeah, no, that's a great value add kind of service. We're really full on the upfront, right? We're trying to leverage that whole relationship, the whole convenience factor of the fact that they can do it all right now and with your transparent pricing and get it done. So we don't have that feature, partly because we're built for speed. Dr. Contact Lens does have that feature. Shout out for Brianna. I don't know if she's on here or not, but that's something that they do well. Our practice, we sell 90% annual supplies. We started at 35, we're at 90 now. So it's just something that I think you can go really hardcore on getting them while they're in your office. So then all of those later on are cut way down.
Yeah. I'm going to do a quick, quick little thing here. We're having another webinar on Tuesday. This is like a way different topic. We're all going stir crazy, probably cleaning our offices. And we have figured out the real solution to disinfect your whole office in minutes. This includes frames, Optimaps, OCTs, literally anything, even your face. You can clean your face with this. It's using hypochlorous acid, typical optometry stuff. So the webinar is going to be on, it's actually Tuesday, little error there. So if you're buying all this Clorox, which is almost impossible to find, I don't know about you guys, and hand sanitizer, this is what we're going to be talking about how to clean your office with. This is professional grade disinfection equipment. It's electrostatic, and you use this sprayer and do this kind of motion. It shoots out a mist. You wear this like a backpack. You'll look super cool in the office.
Well, that's the industrial version of it. There's a tank. You could point to it. There's a tank right on top of the where that sprayer is. Yeah.
So this is what you'll do. This is like a classroom setting. There's really no studies that are done. You know, if we quickly wipe our office surfaces, is it really clean? Is it really disinfected? I think you have to actually leave like the liquids on there for 8 minutes or something.
Yeah.
But we have the pros that are going to tell us on the next on the webinar.
Yeah, I got mine on order already, and so this is like you're going to aim it at your frame display, and it's going to disinfect everything in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And the reason, and I'll just say that this sprayer is a little bit different because normally when you spray something, the little droplets combine and end up as like a bigger droplet. So these particles are positively charged and they repel each other. So they won't accumulate to make a drop on something. And you could even use it in the exam room. It won't mess up lenses or anything. So this is revolutionary. Of course, brought to you by Entrepreneur. And I can't wait to get mine in. It's on order. So this is going to make all those UV cabinets and all that stuff obsolete. So, but more about that June 2nd, right? Tuesday, June 2nd?
Yeah, this is going to be a really cool. We thought we knew how to clean an office because we've been on all these, I'm going to call them lame webinars telling us how to clean our offices. This is how you clean an office. And when we got notice of it, we're like, wow. We're not the ones selling it, by the way. We're just, as you know, we like to bring you the coolest tech, whether it's LensQuote, Dr. Contact Lens, Optify. We're techie. Sunbit, yeah. So text that number. That'll give you a link to join the webinar. So, yep. But let's get back
let's get back to Ryan. Maybe Ryan, I know we went over pricing a little bit, but
I've been answering some of the questions already.
Yeah. So should we talk about pricing just a little bit so we don't scare anybody off?
Yeah, get into it. It's just a few card games.
Yes, it's a couple boxes a month. So if we can't at least help you sell a couple boxes a month that you wouldn't have sold otherwise, then we shouldn't be in business. Our pricing is, our retail pricing is $119 a month, or essentially $99 a month if you pay up front, which is $1188 a year. We also have partnerships with PECA, ADO, Snap, and AllDocs right now, which is actually $99 a month or $999 a year. And that covers up to 4 offices, and then for any number over that, so that's not per office, that's for all 4 of them. And then any number over that, it's like $29 a month.
I think way we a couple months free trial of it. So
it's 60 days free trial. There is no commitment. There is no there's nothing that you have to put up front. We create an account using a credit card. So you do have to enter a credit card up front, but as soon as you create an account, they get an onboarding guide, they get a series of emails. One of our success staff reach out so that we walk you through everything. But 60-day, no setup fee, no nothing. You can completely try it free of charge.
You do all that work, huh?
It's built really to scale, though. That was one of the things we did pretty well. So like when it comes to training staff, 90 of the 250 locations, we've only ever done like 4 live trainings. I think you guys were one of them. So before that it was 4, then or 3, then it was 4. So most watch the videos that we have embedded into the app to train their staff, which is great because if not everyone can be there at once, or someone leaves and you have a new person that whether they've been there 10 minutes or 10 years, you can suddenly have them selling your contacts for you.
All right, so we got a poll up here. It looks like
we got a poll. We want to know who wants to try LensQuote again. 60-day free trial. I actually signed up before COVID, so I never even got to use my trial. So
you got to extend it. That's all right.
Yeah. Let's see here. Some people want to see Ryan do a backflip, I guess. Is that up your alley, or
that? I've got 3 daughters that love doing that stuff. And it makes me hurt just watching it. So it would be a painful exercise.
All right, let's share these results here. So, all right, so the consensus is LensQuote is kick-ass, and people are just pretty upset that you didn't come out with this a decade ago, Ryan.
Yeah, really.
It's my own
junior high.
My own criticism. Like, how I should have thought of this in school, but now it's funny how it all works out.
All right. So if you want to get started with Sunbit, the best thing is just fill out his form on his site, and I'm going to put that up so you'll get a link to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just go there, create an account, and in fact, yeah, we'll know since we have the registration, we're going to make sure everyone's well taken care of. Even kind of running a special that maybe if you don't have one of our partnerships, maybe we can give you the same partnership pricing of others because you're coming from the Brills Entrepreneur Podcast.
So text quote to that phone number. I'll leave this up for a few minutes.
Yeah, I had my staff. I said, you know how to do this? Yeah, I had training. I said, and then she says, I can't find it. It's not on the, I can't get to it. So she did .com instead of .net.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
We're big.
I said, no, you got to do .net.
.net is key. If you've ever had someone buy up a website and then hold it hostage for egregious amounts in the tens of thousands of dollars, you'll know we don't have .com yet. Maybe at some point. We keep haggling. No idea where the person is.
So it works pretty seamlessly. I mean, you really don't have to enter much data, just the name and you know what their plan amount is. So,
and we'll take care of pricing.
Of course, it was a ultra multifocal for astigmatism, and we didn't have that one in there yet. So.
No, it was in there. It wasn't added on your catalog yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, was that it?
No gift card. No.
No.
I'll send you anyone. Anyways, I see a couple other. Do you want me to answer a few other of these questions? I started typing some.
Let's see.
Talked about the month to month.
Can you link this to Dr. Contact Lens? And I've asked you about that. So.
Yeah, we're talking a little bit. Another, colleague with really the right thing in mind. We're about converting right now in the office. They're about once you leave, you can absolutely make it an easy way to get them back. So it's kind of like two sides of the same coin, and really effective working together, to be honest. So anyone that escapes without buying from you, you have a better chance of getting them on the back end.
Yeah, but I'm saying you can have them on the same iPad though, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So we talked about Sunbit last week, where patients can get almost instant installment loan. Usually it's about a 10% down payment, and break up the rest of the payments in 3 slices. So you could go from LensQuote to Sunbit to Dr. Contact Lens. Place your order, have all the reminders in there, and I think people wouldn't really notice that it's a separate entity. They might just think you're changing screens. So
it's actually been a very effective way we've sold the, Daly's Total One multifocal. We just set up that we'll take 3 payments and split it up evenly over the months, and that's actually another thing we'll be adding at some point here.
Okay.
We have a question from Allison Nowak. You said you can print the quote. Can you email it to the patient also?
You can't email it directly from the app, but you can it actually automatically saves with their name. So then you can either, if it's on a tablet, you can just text it to them or email it to them from there.
Okay. Someone's asking me if I'm going to disinfect my Tesla Model 3. No, but you're more than welcome to come to my house and wash it. Jeff Martin, what about Alliance branded lenses like through Vision Source? Are those in your catalog?
They are. And something I answered earlier, typing Vision, like the Vision Source rebates and any kind of particular rebate. We also have all those in the system. So once we know you're like a Vision Source practice, that gets turned on for your office. But it is one of those things where you don't really handle your own rebates of turning them on and off. And we do that on the back end. There's actually hundreds of rebates. You'd be surprised how many rebates there really are. In even Canada, because we're US and Canada. If there's any Canadians, you guys it's like all the companies experiment on them first with their rebate systems, and then the winner comes to America. It's really complicated. Someone also asked earlier, how do we handle what we call conditional rebates? So if they're new wearer, it's $200. If they're not, it's $130. So actually, when you get to the quote screen, a prompt pops up and says, hey, are they a new wearer to this brand? It's actually the language that they use directly on the rebate. If you click yes, it adds it. You can say no, and it doesn't add it.
How quickly can someone get onboarded? Is this like a 3-week process, or is it like tomorrow?
It's like tomorrow. We've done same days multiple times. I'd say on average it's a week, just to they'll send us the price list. We'll have it updated that day, but then they want to have an office meeting just to introduce the concept and then kind of take it from there. Yeah.
So there was a question about how long the contract is. Is it like a year, 2 years?
It's 10 years.
10 years. Okay. 10th year free.
No, yeah, that'd be great if anyone wants to sign up for 10 years. No, it's just month to month. And or yearly, but you get, if you sign up for a year, you get a discount. And you do choose up front which option you're thinking you want. But before it ever goes to active payment, you've already at that point talked with and been reached out to by our account success person. And so you can change if you want before it goes to payment. Vast majority of ours are annual, because our target is within the first 60 days to have the whole year paid for with our increased revenue. And we pretty much hit that every time. So most people just go for the annual at that point.
Do people stay on? Do they stay with you? I mean, do they try and say, no, I want my old paper form back?
Yeah.
A lot of opticians like paper forms. So.
Yeah. Luckily, no. We've had less than 5% ever drop it so far. So of the 100 and some odd, we've had, I think, three or four.
John Scaglione has a good comment here, and I'm sure you know the right answer. Lens.com and Coastal.com are the lowest contact lens prices without insurance. Hard to compete. So what do you have to say to that?
It is. I have a great account that is out in Tacoma, Washington. And his point is he's surrounded by Amazon employees. You can't swing a stick without hitting a Costco. And he went from 40 to like 75% annual supplies. Wow. And it's the thought of, and it's what we're used to when people come in and are like, hey, I need my prescription to go today. Thanks. They've already come in with this barrier thinking, you're expensive and I can't, I know that I need to spend about $250 on contacts today at most. And, that's kind of what I think I spent last year. So when you're transparent and upfront, then it completely diffuses that. So if you're not saying, oh, wait, let me convince you why you should buy here, and here's all these reasons why, if you can just show them, well, yeah, absolutely, but here's our pricing if you want it. And then they can see right on the spot, and maybe you are 20% more, but we know from studies that they'll actually buy for that. And the convenience of coming to you with your personal relationship, it's actually it's anxiety inducing to not buy from you. And so you're kind of helping relieve that anxiety by giving them a nice transparent quote up front. But you're right, it is hard, but thankfully it's not all about price, or else we would all be killing it because most of us are underweight 100 contacts. It's about communication.
Any more questions?
Good question. Thank you.
It's painful how simple this product is. You should have made it more complicated. So
we'll keep trying to make it complicated. But no, it's all about speed, simplicity, quick and easy to use. And then we are adding features like the recent lens comparison feature was something a lot of people are doing kind of by hand. And then we cut it down, just put it together. And then we're looking forward to keep adding more featers like that to help more.
I think the way I plan to use it is all my techs carry a tablet around we communicate with.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think it's good just to hand that patient the tablet and show it to him, or how do you do that presentation?
Yeah. Literally, they come in and either on our screen or they already have a printout. They just say, here's your contact lens pricing today. And it does help to frame it to say, here's your 6 month, here's your year, this is what you save by getting it here today. And that's enough at that point that you can stop talking, because you can talk too much, as we made a point earlier. Yeah. And at that point, they can analyze the situation and make the decision, just like you would in a store.
Better in their palms or showing it to them, because now we're
it is actually better in your palms. It has a little gravitas if you hold it, so it's a haptic to be holding something. And I do recommend, if you have someone that's making a decision in one room and then walking to checkout, I think it is good practice to have it printed, because it's kind of like their walking statement. I know I've committed to this. I don't have to recommit a second time. I have it with me. And so it's actually a good practice.
Now, I would like to,
go ahead.
I would like to, maybe if you could put like in the corner, like a little, it's all on a spreadsheet in there probably. If you can open up like a little window so we could say services are this, because we explain our services materials differently. And it would be kind of nice to have it maybe just for future reference, like
maybe.
Yeah, like a little window to say add up, maybe 3 or 4 spaces in a total. Oh yeah, and here's your services. So
I think it makes sense. Sometimes for certain offices is a tricky thing. I've seen a lot of times too where they get it too confused, or they maybe wrap it up in too much. And then anytime you start getting to the confusion point of, well, this is what the contacts are, but am I also paying for this fee because of the contacts? And they kind of, as soon as it becomes too hard of a decision, then they run. So the goal is to kind of hit it right then.
How long have you been in existence? Anith wants to know.
Yeah, that's good. We really started selling like 2019. So 2018 was like beta-ish year, and then 2019 was when we took off.
Okay, so no FOMO. That's good. How do you organize the rebates? Still have to give a paper copy?
Yeah, you still have to give them a paper copy because of the whole rebate pad situation that I'd love to blow up and just be able to print directly from. So that's kind of a lot of conversations at different levels within organizations try to make that happen.
Okay.
It'd be great if we just go together.
It would be nice if we could help them process the rebate like instantaneously there, so they know it's on the way.
It'd be good if we could print the money right there too. So.
Bitcoin, I think.
Well, you know the answer. Not everyone does the rebate, so it's lower, overall to them.
Okay. Well, we got one more question. How often do you charge a contact lens fitting fee? Okay, we could talk that. We don't. Dr. Brill, why don't you answer that, and then Dr. Gustus, you give your feedback.
Sure.
A contact lens fitting fee. Well, certainly if they've never worn contacts, I've got to charge a contact lens fitting fee. I call it a annual, kind of an annual contact lens management fee. I don't like a fitting fee because it means I've been fit before and I don't need to be fit again. I already know how to wear them. Yeah. So we charge an annual management fee, but I also charge an initial contact lens fee for people that don't know how to put them on, take them off, how to take care of them, all that. Even if they know that, I know their habits are probably not pristine. So, because when you ask them how they do it, they have no idea what solutions. Do they wash their hands? Are they, they're wearing the 1 days for like a week. So we assume that they don't know much. We'll go over it. We'll test them. But I think we're supposed to be still doing fitting fees, because if you lose the lens fee and you lose, we're not supposed to say that, right? If you lose
no fee.
The lens cost and the fitting cost, then we could be fitting them for free. So, which a lot of my patients say, I've never been charged anything for services. And I think, well, even if you go into I was going to say a W word, like a chain, it always says eye exam is this, contact lens is this. So for the exam, and they'll of course say, I've never had to pay. So anyway.
Yep. Very similar structure. It's mostly a not a fee, but we try to say something like a contact lens service, or fitting if it's new, management if it's not, and then it's tiered depending on what kind of lens they're wearing. We don't, if we change them to something new, we don't charge them for that. We've just become very efficient in our kind of telemedicine and following up with, if we do change materials and things, we do things in office that are pretty, we try to really minimize it in the office, but we want them in better materials. And we felt and kind of studied that it seemed like we tacked on extra fees on top of that, then they question your motivation for them being in that more expensive lens.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I like to say it's a program of care and lenses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Any more random business questions? You got like a panel of 2 experts and me, so we'll answer anything.
3 experts.
We'll tell you how to clean up wounds because Ryan's child took a bike into a rose bush, so we can talk to you about that. We can talk to you about
10 minutes before.
we can talk to you about how to stock
He's all right.
all the fitting sets on top of each other. We're really good at that.
We've moved them. We moved ours upstairs to get more steps in and clear out real estate down below.
How much annual revenue should an average practice gross in contact lens sales? Jason Carruthers.
Oh, dang, that's an awesome question.
Man, you're talking about money.
Yeah, the industry average is right about like 16%, 16 to 18, depending on. It can be upwards of that. It could be 20. If you do the math on and these are all industry numbers, but 40% of all sales are lost. So if most practices are doing, I don't know, say 150 in revenue, or say 200, and you almost 50% more than that, it's a very, very substantial, it's money that's already in your practice. And the reality is you're the best value right then because you're one transaction. They know what they're getting. You send it to their house. I recommend direct shipping everything we do. You increase your lens fees accordingly, and people will be happy to buy from you. We're in rural Indiana, a bunch of farmers and great people, just wonderful, but it's not like, Silicon Valley where everyone wants, whatever. I mean, they're extremely happy to be communicated with, buy those annual supplies. And actually farmers love dailies. I should say that.
Photo grazing glass, right?
Photo grazing glass or dailies, because who knows what's going in their hands. So yeah. They're all about not rewearing lenses.
Anith wants to know if we could use your software to price out specialty RGPs and sclerals and stuff.
Yeah, like Ortho-K, sclerals.
Yeah, we kind of have we have some of those lenses in there, and it's mostly been as like favors to special requests like that. So be happy to work with you on that. I'd actually like to have kind of a separate module coming overall. We have it kind of built out where it would be for like an Ortho-K practice. Yes. Of course, anything you bring to scale, you're trying to find the most scalable, moldable way that everyone would be extremely happy with. And of course, it would drive the most in sales. But we've been actually working on that too. And I'd be happy to work with you personally if you have some of your, top lenses that you'd like. Mm-hmm.
Marcia Smith wants to, just a business question, unrelated to this webinar. Our office lost 75% of staff due to COVID. Most employees won't come back or already got new jobs. What resources are the best to train new hires quickly, and how do we prevent the new staff from becoming overwhelmed and quitting? I'll tell you how. I have the answer to that one. Number one is there's a lot of training for a lot of the job roles we have in the office, whether it's tech, front desk, optician, and they're courses, online courses, and you get a certification. And a little self-plug here, I do have a consulting business. You can find it at www.irocket.com. And I'm happy to talk to you for free. But we know that is a concern, is that you give all your proprietary knowledge, special sauce, and 4 months later, they're like, yep, I got my old job back. Or I'm done. I'm going to go work at Macy's now. So I think you have to.
I'd be curious to find out if there's some commonality as to why they quit. I mean, did somebody recruit them and pay them $5 more an hour? Or were they maybe they found an easier job? But that may be an opportunity, because I think right now there's a lot of people looking. So there's a lot of people looking for jobs. And maybe that's a blessing in disguise.
I think it's a blessing.
Your most senior, what I found over all these years, 42, is that sometimes your most senior valued tech or office person or optician is the one that's thwarting all of your initiatives. they'll say, yeah, Ryan, he went to that Indiana Optometric Association meeting. He's going to come back with all sorts of new ideas, which means new work for us. We're going to nod, and then we're not going to do it. Okay. Yeah. And then Ryan won't find that out for 15 years. So until his most valued staff member leaves, and then you find out, hey, all my ideas work now because he or she was thwarting him. So
I lived that when we first bought, very loyal staff. My partner had been the state president and done a lot. And we had like a third of the staff quit within the first 6 months of me being there. And suddenly life got a lot easier after the initial pain of training people. But then it was like, wow, we're doing all these new things that we kept talking about, but no one was doing.
There you go.
I would say, Marcia, becoming lean is really important. So maybe use this as an opportunity to use tools like LensQuote or other tools to replace staff. And so maybe you have one less. Outsource your insurance billing. These are things that we can take totally off our hands, let somebody else do it. So
yeah. Well, maybe you should later on offline get her phone number and just give her a quick call.
Right. Anyways, 2 more questions. One couldn't get unemployment, one lost childcare, one moved home with her family. So this little piggy, that piggy. The other decided she could get paid more elsewhere. Well, yeah, we feel your pain. Anith, you have to stop asking questions. Ryan's going to start billing you, per the question. Do you integrate with contact lens distributors such as WVA, etc.?
Well, why would he? Why would he need to?
Yeah, so far we kind of went for entirely speed and avoidance of that. Now, if there is a future feature that helps with the ordering process, then yes. But as of right now, it doesn't integrate with anything. It's part of the slowing down. We're just all up front, get the sale right now. Then you can order it however you want.
Do you have like a button in the background maybe for ABB Profit Advisor on there or something?
Not yet, but maybe they'll want to play a game in that way. We do have some practices. We kind of have it set on autopilot, if you will, that they've said, I just want the ABB Profit Advisor pricing. And so whenever that comes out, we just have a little alert, and then they go and swap out all their pricing for them. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, yeah. We're going to answer one more. Send me the bill for the questions.
The bill is $99 after 2 months free. So for LensQuote.
We're going to make Anith pay the 10-year contract.
Yeah.
10-year contracts. That's the next.
He'll make you he'll make you a member of Young ODs of Texas.
Young ODs of Indiana. So
yeah. I'm a Young OD of Texas.
All right, everybody. Well, this will conclude it. Feel free to message Ryan or anybody. Love to answer questions, and then we'll see everybody on Tuesday again.
Well, you want to remind them how they can get it? I think some person came late. So
what's that?
Tell them how to text to get more information on that, Barry, because
you can text CLEAN, CLEAN.
No, that's for next week.
Oh, to do LensQuote. Oh, text quote QUOTE to 833-712-1290. And super easy. I'll send you a text. Just sign up on that little form, and Dr. Gustus and his crew will reach out, and you'll get up and running. We already did our training, so we're good.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody.
We're all about colleagues, so take care, everybody. And yes, email me anything.
Thanks for joining us.
What's your email, Dr. Gustus?
It's really hard. It's Ryan@lensquote.net.
Man.
Best way to get a hold of me.
See you, everybody.
Nice.
See ya.
Bye.
Thank you.